Welcome back, bookworms and dragon enthusiasts. Get ready to dive into a world where dragons aren't just mythical creatures. They're weapons. They're companions. They're basically the coolest things since sliced bread. That's right, we're talking Fourth Wing, Rebecca Yarros' debut, the first in her Empyrean series.
Oh yeah, Fourth Wing drops us right into this world. Navarre, they're fighting off these terrifying creatures called Venin, humanity's last hope, dragon riders.
Bonded to these magnificent beasts. Okay, so imagine Hunger Games. But with dragons. Throw in some How to Train Your Dragon vibes.
And a dash of forbidden romance for good measure.
Yes, our protagonist, Violet Sorrengail. She's got about as much chance of becoming a dragon rider as I do winning a marathon. She's a scribe's daughter, more comfortable with books and ink than swords and scales.
But that's how these epic tales go, right?
Fate has other plans.
Big time. Violet gets thrown head first into this brutal world of dragon riders the first year. 50% mortality rate. Not exactly a walk in the park.
Oh no, absolutely brutal.
Enjoying.
This is a girl who dreams of being a scholar, not a warrior.
Talk about a recipe for disaster.
Seriously, right from the start, you feel this intense conflict. Follow her heart, or answer the call to duty, defend her kingdom, and to make it even more intense, her mom, General Sorrengail, total badass, expects nothing but the best from Violet.
Oh yeah, General Sorrengail. No nonsense. You know that scene where Violet crosses the parapet to enter the Riders Quadrant?
That windswept bridge leading to a world she never wanted.
Exactly. It's like a physical representation of her whole journey.
A bridge she's forced to cross, pushing forward despite all the fear, all the uncertainty.
Every step is a test of courage.
And it really sets the stage for everything she's going to face.
Absolutely.
Okay. But can we talk about the dragons for a second? The bonding ritual, threshing, or these unbonded dragons choose their riders. I was on the edge of my seat.
It's chaotic, dangerous. There's this ancient magic at play.
So captivating.
And then there's Violet's bond. Completely flips the script.
She bonds with not one, but two dragons.
The black dragon, formidable, powerful, and then, out of nowhere, a golden dragon.
Unheard of. And get this, the golden dragon can talk to her. Telepathically.
Throws everything we thought we knew about dragon riders right out the window.
Totally hooked at this point.
What's really interesting here is that this dual bond, it's not just a cool twist, it hints at something deeper. We know Violet's descended from rebels with forbidden magic.
Could this explain her connection to two dragons?
Especially one as rare as a golden dragon.
It's like she has this power Navarre's never seen before.
Exactly. It sets up so much intrigue.
Foreshadowing Violet's potential.
Oh, absolutely. And as if a dual dragon bond wasn't enough, let's throw in some romance.
Oh, yeah. Xaden Riorson, the enigmatic Wingleader, brooding, skilled.
And let's not forget that undeniable attraction.
Seriously, their first encounter, I was holding my breath.
Xaden's such a complex character, morally gray, capable of kindness, but also terrifying brutality.
He's protective of Violet, but he keeps her at a distance.
Always keeps you guessing. What are his motives?
They're dynamic. It's so compelling.
Oh, for sure.
You're drawn to his strength, the way he challenges Violet. But you also sense he's hiding something.
Potentially dangerous, even.
Remember that scene in the library? They're sparring.
Giving her advice on how to take down a first year?
By snapping their neck?
All while they're having this playful banter.
Chilling.
Yeah.
And strangely alluring.
It perfectly encapsulates their relationship.
Attraction, distrust, danger.
And it speaks to that deeper theme of power.
Who really holds it?
How do they use it?
At what cost?
Exactly.
And speaking of power and secrets, we can't forget the shocking revelation. That many within the Riders Quadrant. Even some of Violet's closest allies. They're descendants of rebels.
Rebels with forbidden relics.
Objects that could shift the balance of power in Navarre.
Right. These relics, passed down through generations, it suggests a long-standing resistance.
But what do they represent?
Tools for liberation.
Or instruments of destruction?
So many questions.
That's what makes this book so engrossing. It's not just about dragons and romance. It's about questioning the narratives we're given. Challenging authority.
Uncovering hidden truths.
And it throws a wrench into Violet's situation. She's trained to defend her kingdom. But what if the people she's fighting alongside are a threat to Navarre?
Where do her loyalties lie?
It's a classic fantasy theme.
But Yarros executes it brilliantly.
High stakes, dragons, betrayal, forbidden romance.
You just have to keep reading
to
see what happens next. And that question of loyalty gets even more complicated. When you bring in the Venin, These creatures
Yeah.
wielding dark magic.
The ultimate enemy.
Exactly. The whole reason for Navarre's magical wards.
They're terrifying.
Nightmare fuel.
Intelligent. Strategic. Driven by this thirst for revenge.
Like facing a force of nature.
The one that's fueled by pure hatred.
And here's where things get really interesting.
Okay.
The wards protect Navarre from the venom, but they also suppress all non-dragon magic.
A trade-off.
Safety for magical freedom.
Which means the rebellion relics, those objects passed down for generations, could be incredibly powerful.
If the wards ever came down.
It's a game changer.
Exactly. So now we have to ask, are the rebels trying to dismantle the wards, even if it means exposing Navarre to the venom?
Are they fighting for freedom, or are they power hungry?
Willing to sacrifice their kingdom.
The lines get blurry.
Very blurry.
And Violet's caught right in the middle.
Trying to survive this brutal training.
Dealing with her feelings for Xaden, who might be a rebel sympathizer.
Pulled in different directions.
Trying to figure out who to trust.
And what's the right thing to do?
Her situation. So complex.
It's not just about strength or mastering dragon riding.
It's about navigating this web of secrets.
Betrayal.
Hidden agendas.
And then there's her own lineage.
Tied to the rebels.
Making her question everything she thought she knew.
Oh, and speaking of challenges, the Gauntlet. This obstacle course. Practically designed to kill first years.
Intense.
Reading about it made my palms sweat.
It's not just a physical test.
It's psychological.
Confronting your fears.
Pushing past your limits.
Making split-second decisions.
Life or death.
Exactly.
Remember those spinning logs?
And the chimney climb.
Razor-sharp edges.
Heart-stopping.
It's like a mirror of Violet's internal struggles.
Constantly questioning herself.
Her abilities.
Her place in this world.
But she starts to discover her true strength.
Not just brute force.
Resilience?
Using her intellect.
Like when she outsmarts Jack Barlow.
That arrogant bully.
He underestimates her.
But she uses her knowledge of the rules to turn the tables.
Proving she's more than just a scribe's daughter.
Exactly.
Refusing to be defined by others' expectations.
It's not just about winning.
It's about challenging the system.
Her defiance.
Even in small ways.
Speaks to a desire for change.
Within Navarre's warrior culture.
And then there's that scene where she uses her time-stopping ability during combat practice with Xaden.
The first time we see her truly embrace her powers.
Even though they set her apart.
Such a powerful moment. Not just defeating an opponent.
It's about claiming her own power.
Recognizing that her difference is her strength.
Rejecting the idea of conformity.
And it speaks to that bigger theme.
Yeah.
Individual versus society.
Violet's constantly being told who she should be.
How she should act.
But she forges her own path.
Even if it means challenging everything.
And her journey, it's made even more compelling by her relationships.
Especially with her friends.
Rhiannon.
Her loyal squad mate.
And Liam.
Her shadow.
Always looking out for her.
They give her a sense of belonging.
Support.
In this harsh environment.
But they're also a source of conflict.
Because she can't always protect them.
No matter how much she wants to.
The weight of responsibility.
Knowing her choices could have consequences.
Adds another layer of tension.
And then there's the truth about the rebellion.
Which turns everything upside down.
They're not just fighting for freedom.
They want to unleash an ancient magic.
That could destroy Navarre.
A plot twist.
Suddenly, good versus evil. Not so clear anymore.
And Violet has to face the possibility that her ancestors might have been responsible for a tragedy.
It challenges our assumptions about history.
Who gets to tell the story?
Yet we get remembered.
And it forces Violet to question everything.
About her family.
And her kingdom. And then there's Xaden.
Oh, Xaden, a mystery wrapped in an enigma, and then set on fire.
Seriously.
A hero.
A traitor.
Protector.
Threat.
Impossible to pin down.
Which makes him so compelling.
And frustrating.
Their relationship. A roller coaster.
Passionate.
Volatile.
Full of secrets.
Misunderstandings.
But also tender at times.
Glimpses of vulnerability.
Remember that scene on the parapet during the fireworks?
Violet walks out to him, barefoot. Vulnerable.
A moment of connection.
Raw.
Yeah.
Like they can let go of everything.
Just be present.
A beautiful scene.
But it highlights the fragility of their relationship.
Holding back.
Afraid to trust.
Secrets threatening to tear them apart.
And then the truth about Xad's past.
He's not just a descendant of rebels.
He's the leader.
Talk about a bombshell.
The man Violet's falling for. The enemy of her kingdom.
An impossible choice.
Betray her heart.
Or betray her duty.
Yaros's reveal. Masterful.
A slow burn.
Keeps you guessing.
And it leaves Violet in a devastating position. That moment when Violet confronts Xaden and her squad about the rebellion. It's brutal.
The betrayal, so raw.
You can feel the anger, the heartbreak.
Yaros doesn't hold back.
The tension builds as Violet puts the pieces together.
And those flashbacks to her childhood?
Her father's warnings about the Venin.
It adds another layer of tragedy.
They highlight the cyclical nature of history.
The sins of the past, repeating themselves.
It's like Violet's destined to repeat those mistakes.
But she's also fighting to break free.
Fate versus free will.
How much are we shaped by the past?
Does knowing history doom us to repeat it?
Or does it give us the power to choose differently?
It's a powerful theme.
And it resonates with Violet's journey.
She's making choices that will shape Navarre's future.
And those choices lead her to Athabine.
The rebel outpost.
A turning point.
She has to confront the truth.
Decide where her loyalties lie.
Athabine is fascinating. It's not a simple good versus evil situation.
The rebels aren't all villains.
And the Navarrian government isn't entirely innocent.
It's more nuanced.
Which makes it so compelling.
A world of moral grays.
Right and wrong. Blurred.
It makes us question our own assumptions.
About power, loyalty, justice.
And then we finally encounter the Venin.
In all their terrifying glory.
Just as monstrous as we imagine.
Intelligent, strategic, filled with hatred.
What's chilling is they're not just mindless beasts.
They're sentient.
With history, a desire for vengeance.
So much more frightening than
any mindless monster.
Those battle scenes at Athabine. Epic.
The chaos, terror.
Facing an enemy that seems unstoppable.
Yaros knows how to create tension.
Keeps you on the edge of your seat.
And she shows the consequences of war.
Characters we care about get hurt, even die.
It highlights the stakes.
The
Clan's death, still not over it.
He sacrifices himself to save Violet.
Heartbreaking.
It speaks to the depth of Yaros' writing.
We care about these characters.
Even the secondary ones.
Their losses feel personal.
Violet's grief. It's palpable.
It fuels her.
But it also leads her to a difficult decision.
Using her time-stopping ability.
Knowing the risks.
A moral dilemma.
How far would you go to protect the ones you love?
When do the ends justify the means?
That final battle scene. Incredible.
Violet's pushed to her limit.
Physically. Emotionally.
But she doesn't give up.
And then she unleashes this power.
Lightning. Golden dragon magic.
Breathtaking.
Terrifying.
A moment of pure triumph.
But bittersweet.
Violet won the battle.
But at a cost.
And the ending. So many unanswered questions.
What happens next?
Will she control her powers?
Will she find peace?
The ultimate cliffhanger.
Yaros leaves us wanting more.
I can't wait to see what happens next.
Me neither.
So, if you haven't already, pick up Fourth Wing.
Action-packed. Emotional.
I'll keep you hooked.
A story about courage.
Sacrifice.
Self-discovery.
And I hope.
It challenges you to think.
About power.
Loyalty.
The choices we make.
Even in the darkest times, there's always the possibility of light.
Even if it comes at a price.
Well said.
And until next time, happy reading.
Ooh.